gentlemen, welcome to Hops and Bros.
Craft Beer 101.
Yes, that's right, correct. This beer, very special. I don't know, Craft Beer 101.
You're
Great.
all mixed up.
I am all mixed up.
But
yes.
First, what's going on?
So apparently I want to teach physics in university, and that's the look, apparently.
You opted in for the Nikola Tesla look, right?
I did, exactly. So if you want your electricity to be free and to be generated by the air, I'm the guy for you. Comments
Literally
below.
by the air.
Literally by the air. Comments below if you want this, if you're interested in a Tesla coil, let me know. I can build one for you for a very high price, but that's fine. It's okay. It is what it is. Anyways, this week, bitterness and beer. So it's part of pretty much every beer to some extent. We have done a video on IBUs.
Every beard?
Fuck you. Anyways, so it's part of every beer to some extent. It's gone now.
Yeah,
Okay?
I know.
I still miss it a bit.
I think that for the next few months, I'm gonna point it out.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
So, we've done IBUs in the past in another video. It's going to be in at the end of this video, so you can either watch it entirely, which is what we would enjoy for you to do, or you can just Google, YouTube, IBUs, Hops and Bros, and you'll see it, you'll find it.
Yes.
You'll find the formula to calculate your bitterness in beer.
But bitterness, where does it come from, and what is it?
So, historically speaking, bitterness is actually a negative thing. It's an off flavor. It's a negative flavor that us humans back in the day used to avoid.
Oh.
You knew that something wasn't good when it tasted bitter. It was poison.
Kind of like, I'm eating this apple. It is super juicy, fruity. I love it. And this plant with studs on it.
Exactly. So apple good, other plant with the little spikes and whatnot, bad. Then eventually our palate developed and some tastes, some flavors that used to be off to us, kind of slowly became what we wanted. Sorry, paranoid a little bit.
Yes, I don't know why.
I don't know why. Anyways, let's not mention it. So, bitterness in beer, super important. Yes. It's one of the flavors you look for in beer. Now, Chris.
Where does the bitterness come from? And how is it created in the whole science scheme of things?
Scheme of things.
Is that a word? Yes, it is. So, bitterness comes from humulone.
Which is on hops, right? Like most beers, the bitterness comes from the hops.
Yes, but humulone is found in the resin of hops.
So it's not the actual hop flour or whatever, it's what's on it. In it. Okay.
In the resin. So it's a organic acid which has a bitter tasting chemical compound in it. So you can't even see it with your own eye. You need a microscope to do it. So we spoke about Nikola Tesla. Then he might have seen some of this.
He might have invented the microscope, but I'm not sure.
No.
Actually, we mentioned it in another video, and I forget the name now. Fuck. That would have been good.
But anyways, what happens with the humulone is that during the brewing process, it transforms itself into, the word cis-isohumulone and trans-isohumulone, which barely translate as iso-alpha acids.
Okay.
So alpha acids goes into the boil, gets transformed, released as iso-alpha acids, and also other components that can be oxidized. Okay. So yes, you do get the bitterness from the iso acids that's been transformed. That's what happens in the chemical process. But also at the same point, the down part of it, you get those other elements that can be oxidized.
So a little bit like we've talked in the past, where your alpha acids are going to create the bitterness in beer through different processes. You are going to have a bitterness potential, bittering potential on every hop, depending on the strain, where it comes from, the weather that year, and just in general what season it is.
It's all part of the terroir of how the hop grew.
Exactly. That's why some people will decide to grow a hop only in one region and not allow it anywhere else to try to keep it as pure as possible.
Like Citra or Nelson Sauvin.
Exactly, which is not a bad way to do it, because then you can assure consistency in your hop. But not only will the bittering potential vary, but also the boil time. So the longer you boil your hop, the more bitterness you'll extract, to about a maximum of 2 hours. After 2 hours, you might get some off flavors from it.
Exactly.
But
yes,
when it ages in bottles,
you get the oxidation. So alpha acids and the bitterness from it tends to disappear and taste like cardboard.
which kind of sucks because when you want a juicy IPA,
You want all those nice sweet flavors from the hops.
and you have to drink it as fresh as possible, even though it's a preservative agent.
Yes, but something you guys know, alpha acids die off, then you lose your bitterness. But beta acids, which gives the flavors of the hops, so fruitiness, flower, spice, whatever you get from hops or from the beta acids. We already talked about it in the IBU episode, I think.
I believe so.
IPA.
Yeah, we've done IPA, we've done New England IPA, we've done Milkshake IPA, we've done Best Bitter.
We'll have to binge watch our own episode to
remember.
But the beta acids over time with the oxidation become a bittering agent.
But not quite as good as your
it's
alpha
harsher
acids.
and it's kind of off flavors. So it's not something you might want in your beer.
Which kind of sucks.
Which sucks. But yeah, those Germans, they use, and the Belgians use old hops in their beer to don't have the bitterness.
So by using all the hops, your alpha acids kind of tend to deteriorate, and then your beta acids are going to stay there for the flavors.
Yes.
I guess it's not a bad way to do it. I know.
It's science.
Yeah.
I think so.
Maybe something like that. Well, that's the thing. That's the interesting thing with old brewers from back in Europe is that a lot of what they did as superstition. Like they would have this vat and they would have to replace it after a couple of years. And what they would do is they would literally take a hammer and do the exact same dents everywhere in the vat to try to mimic it as much as possible. For them, it was superstition. But in fact, by doing that, they assured that their beer would be consistent and wouldn't change much. It would be essentially the same thing. So there's a lot of good that comes from being traditional with your beer.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of good that comes from innovating. We wouldn't have the IPAs we have today if people hadn't innovated on old school recipes.
And pushing the limits of bitterness a step further every single time. It's just crazy. So this whole episode is dedicated to all the bitterness lovers out there. I know you craft beer geeks are really fan of it, but one thing you're also fan of us.
Hopefully, anyways.
Hopefully, yes.
If you could please leave a like, it would make our day.
And
leave a comment below as well. We like to interact with you guys.
We always love to chat with you guys.
Yeah.
So just put it down in the comment what you'd like to know about craft beer, and will be a pleasure to do a craft beer 101 episode.
I mean, we've got a bunch of subjects. We love to do something that you actually want to see. You personally, not everyone who watches
your
us.
Friend right here. You.
Yeah.
You.
So cheers to you and you and you
and
and
you.
you and you and you
And
and you.
we'll see you in the next video, which is gonna be probably in 5 minutes when you finish this one.
Yeah, hopefully. Anyways, we've got a bunch of videos. You probably haven't seen all of them.
Yeah, you can binge watch. We're 148 videos now, so that means